Which of the following was the same meaning of the word subsumed? Okay, sometimes when I don't understand the word individually, then I have to depend on the context. If you're not familiar with this word, okay, let's quickly look at this in the passage. Let's read. This is a precursor to giving monsoon predictions over India's 36 subdivisions rather than the 4 broad geographical regions within which these 36 subdivisions are subsumed. Rehashed, submerged, summarized, barred, included. Included. Yes, Shivam, you are correct. Right? I got one without reading the entire passage. Let's go. Which of the following was the same in the meaning to the word appending as used in the passage? Loosening, subjoining, disengaging, mitigating, palliating. Some of you may be familiar with this word, some of you may not be. See, I look at this word from another word called appendage. Appendage means something extra, added, right? An addition. So, knowing that word, something that is added, which is not loosening but subjoining, not disengaging, that's an antonym. Mitigating and palliating are unrelated words. Answer is subjoining. Let's go. Ensemble. Ensemble. If you're familiar with that word again, ensemble means options, aggregate, individual, unique, stack, secure. Right? On, together. The word itself, ensemble, right, means something that is considered as a whole. Right? The closest one is, let's go back. Let's assume you don't know this word. Right? Let's go back to the passage and see. Where does ensemble come? Where is it? So it says, the IMD relies on an ensemble model, a statistical technique that uses an average of models. These models are prepared, so which means it is included in that, right? As a group, considered as a whole. The answer is, the closest one is definitely not individual because we just said group. Can't be unique, single, no. Stack, piled, no. Secure, unrelated word. Aggregate is our option. Next. Gauge. Gauge means catch, hold, scrutinize, adjust, question, estimate. I don't even have to look at the, which one? Gauge to figure out. We have one more, extrapolating. We may not know this word, so let's go back to the context, right? Let's understand the options, handling, generalizing, omitting, blaming, using. Okay. It comes in the first passage, third line. Let's read. In 2017, India's annual summer monsoon forecast may be made by a supercomputer. Okay, a dynamical monsoon model works by simulating the weather on powerful machines and extrapolating it over desired time frames. Now, I think it's ensemble, if I'm not wrong. It's a French word. So, en is pronounced as en. To extrapolate, that's the word. To extrapolate means you are trying to guess from specific cases for general cases. So, in this context, they are doing that, right? Here, you may not know this word, totally understandable if you don't get 1 mark here. The actual synonym is generalizing in the context, right? We'll understand that while we read the context. Now, let's look at the other questions. Which of the following statements is true? Read the passage. I'm assuming you read the passage, right? So, can we quickly look at the questions and figure out the answers? Which of the following statements is true? Option A. IMD is Indian Meteorological Department. Okay. So, I think most of the questions for options for 2 is around the second passage. IMD uses unique individual models and statistical techniques. Absolutely not. Because it says here, the IMD relies on an ensemble model, a statistical technique that uses an average of models. So, can't be. That is false. Next. IMD has employed scientifically advanced and extraordinary models. No, we just saw that. Can't be. False. Such models are the recent most addition to the research being done in India. No, they've been using it for years. Right? Because it says this traditional approach. First line here. So option C also out. The operational forecasts of IMD have never included the dynamic monsoon model. Yes, that is correct. How do we know that? It says here, right? It says here, while such models have been used for research purposes in India for decades, which means it's not advanced, it's not new, the Indian Meteorological Department has never integrated it into its operational forecast, right? Option 4 is true. What about option 5? I didn't see option 5. Option 5 says, IMD is India's weather forecaster but handles divisions of many other countries. It doesn't say here. right? It is India's weather forecast, but the passage doesn't give any information of whether it handles other divisions of many other countries. That's not there. So we can safely say option 4 is true. Okay, how would the supercomputer work? Okay, let's look at the options. By using the old meteorological data that is connected to the performance of monsoons in India, that's not what it says. These models are prepared by relying on a vast century-old trove of meteorology data linked to the performance of the monsoon. Fourth question, how would the supercomputer work? I think it's option 1, if I'm not wrong. Right? Let's look at the other options just to make sure it's not the case. By relying on the minuscule century-old trove of meteorology data linked to the performance of the monsoon, not minuscule century. Okay, by assembling a statistical new technique that could link the weather to the usual performance of monsoon each year, no. By using traditional approach in combination with MOE's established guidelines, no. By increasing the accuracy level of the coupled forecast system version 2, no. How would the supercomputer work? It clearly says there, minuscule is wrong, yeah. That's why you can safely eliminate option 2. Anyway, the answer is 1. We just saw that in the passage. Move on. Next. If the model has a low accuracy rate, then why is the model being introduced? Why are they still taking that model? Meteorologists believe that it will accurately signal all droughts. The model has been used in many other countries and so meteorologists want to use it in India. Definitely not true. Meteorologists believe that 66% accuracy is enough as no one can assure anything. Yes, it says that 66% accuracy is enough, but let's see. Meteorologists want to start using it, hoping to increase its accuracy gradually. Maybe that's the case, right? Government wants to prove that India is as developed a country as any other. The passage doesn't support fifth statement, but let's go back, look at the passage. It has only 60% accuracy in forecasting the monsoon. It's good enough for now. Blah, blah, blah. No doubt, it needs to improve and the aim is to make the 77%, but we have to start somewhere. So, yes, they are planning to improve it gradually. So, whichever option gives that, which is option. So, I will go with 4. This we covered. Synonyms we've covered. What is a petaflop in the passage? Last passage. It says, in 2077, the IITM is likely to use a 10 petaflops per second system, a 10-fold increase in computing power for the dynamical model monsoon prediction. Okay, so looking at our options, the answer for that would be measurement of data, no. Measurement of monsoon, no. Measurement of computer speed, yes. Not measurement of accuracy in the predictions, not measurement of power used to operate the model. Yeah, super. Employment of this technique may be called a harbinger to... What's a harbinger? Anybody? That's your clue word there. But what does it mean? When I say something is a harbinger, I'm saying some sort of a signal to what is to come. Indicates what is to come. A signal in the future. Right? Like a forerunner. So, employment of this technique may be called a harbinger to... what are options? The confidence that the dynamical model correctly signaled a drought in 2015. Use a 10 petaflops per second system, a 10-fold increase in computing power, giving monsoon predictions to all 36 divisions rather than the 4 broad geographical regions. The 60% accuracy of the coupled forecast system version 2. Gauge the annual monsoon over 3 or 4 months before. Now, because this word harbinger is there, which means they are talking about what is to come in the future, I can safely eliminate option 1. They are not referring to something in the past. Right? I can safely eliminate option 4. I can safely eliminate option 5. Either 2 or 3. Let's look at the passage to see where exactly the answer is. Okay, see, before the last passage, there is a sentence which says here, for some years, the IMD has been appending the dynamical models forecast along with the traditional forecast, but junking the statistical model signals a new approach in forecasting the monsoon. This is a precursor to giving monsoon predictions over India's 36 subdivisions. So, precursor is your clue word actually. Precursor means forerunner. Right, harbinger, same meaning. So, that's where you connect it. This is what they plan to do. Instead of giving it to the 4 broad geographical regions, they want to give it to the 36 subdivisions. That's it. That's your answer. Which is option 3. Right? That's it.